Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the National Guard products number 8475. This is a mill finish piece of aluminum threshold, and this is a sample. This is literally a sample piece for purposes of this video. Let's pull it out and take a look. Now, the 8475 is representative of that profile. It's a saddle type threshold. If you use your imagination, then you can see why they call it a saddle, I suppose. And the hallmark of this threshold, and by the way, it's available in the mill finish. The absence of any letters after 8475 will infer the fact that this is indeed just mill aluminum. Or DKB, dark bronze anodized. It'd be 8475 DKB is what you would get. Now, why people use this threshold is because they need or want, desire something substantial, something heavy duty. You know, if you ever notice when you walk through doorways and the threshold's loose, it's generally because it's a thin wall thickness, or the screws, the installation was poor to begin with. And I think people expect the threshold to be the sort of installation that's done, one and done when it's installed. You're not going to go back and do it again. Well, the fact of the matter is that starts with quality material, and in a case like this, it starts with significant wall thickness of the material. The hallmark of this item is that it's 1/4 inch thick. You know, at the top of the flute, it's a 1/4 inch material thickness. That makes for an incredibly heavy threshold. The 6-inch piece of this, you'll find it hard to believe, but a 6-inch piece of this weighs 0.97 pounds. So basically 1 pound for a 6-inch piece of aluminum. That tells you how thick the material is. Okay, so you're going to use this when you want something heavy duty, when you don't want to compromise in the quality of something, when you still need it to be heavy duty and yet handicap compliant. Where you would use this, in my opinion, would be a situation where you were needing to seal the bottom of an exterior door, let's say a delivery door, where you've got hand cart traffic coming through. You might be a restaurant. You're going to take a case of shrimp or whatever the case is, whatever the situation is, during your delivery time. That's a great instance where you need to have something substantial. Sooner or later, you'll end up replacing something of lighter gauge or lighter material thickness when you realize, you know, how beneficial this sort of material is in terms of it being a thicker wall. Okay, now, so any application where you want something heavier duty, there is an image below this video showing the important dimensional properties of this item. Let's go over that now. You can see that it's 7.5 inch wide. That's pretty common, pretty typical in the sense of it being, you know, not 4 inch. You know, 5 inches common, 6 inches common. You get out to 7.5. That's a little bit wider, but you can easily get 8, 9, 10 inch, and then you can get custom stuff as well. 7.5 inch could be very commiserate with an application of having a 5 3/4 jamb depth, and you are literally going to cope this frame so that the face of it runs long all the way to the brick wall on one side, or you're going to cope it all the way in and have the threshold run long on both sides, because you want to be able to seal the bottom of that area as well and give your bottom of your jamb a little extra protection from the elements. You could have a jamb depth that's 7.5 inch. Whatever the case is why you might want 7.5 inch. Aside, if that serves your need, then good for you. 1/2 inch tall, you can 1/2 inch height, you can see that. A couple of braces that are channeled down in here, and there is nothing particularly important about that from National Guard. I have had people, and I have done it, where I would install this threshold and I would have such a corroded and pitted concrete condition below. And because of how thick this is, you're not going to get it to bend very much, and you don't want it to, because you're going to have an unusual condition. What I would do is I have purchased from National Guard a small amount of foam material that I can place on here. And as my threshold sits down, I've got just a little bit of foam sticking out, or whatever you want to imagine. If you want to run a bead of silicone heavy down in here on both sides, flip that threshold over and place it in its spot. That's great. That's one reason that I've used this sort of chase that you see machined there. Well, not machined, but that's just the profile of the item. So people will do that for that purpose as well. That extra ridge there allows a resistance to the lateral forces that you're going to see exhibited on a piece of threshold. You know, it takes a lot of lateral movement, a threshold, this sort of thing, because you've got traffic literally walking over it. This heavy fluted top is a great anti-slip condition, which becomes more obvious the wider you go with a threshold, how important it is to prevent someone from slipping, is the bottom line. Available in several different lengths. As I said earlier, this is just a sample. Everywhere from 2 foot to 4 foot, 2 foot to 8 foot lengths are easy. You can get longer lengths, it just gets costly to ship. Screws would be included, and they look to be about a number 10 by 1.5 inch, flathead screw. You'll have countersinks that will be provided in here. If you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece and indicate that in the comment field. A few reasons. You may not have the ability to easily trim this. You might not want to have your saw cut something that's a 1/4 inch. Even though it's aluminum, it's still substantial to cut. The real threshold would have a countersink about 6 inch from the end, maybe 4 inch from the end. In that scenario, if you had to take a 4 foot piece and cut it down to say 42 inch, you'd eliminate that first countersink, and you're stuck drilling another hole, okay, countersinking that other hole, and all of that could conspire to be difficult for you to be able to do. The point of the matter is, if you if you ordered a custom length, we would not only locate that first countersink at the proper distance from the edge, but the proper center to center as well. Now, the name National Guard is synonymous with all things weather stripping related. There is a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure that allows you to review this item against their sister products, their immediate sister products to it. And then some is the bottom line. Okay. There is also a link, and at least as handy, more so, a link to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line National Guard product catalog and review all things National Guard hardware weather stripping related. Their name is synonymous with weather stripping. So if you have more than an occasional need, you do yourself service by reviewing it. Not only thresholds like this, but perimeter gasketing, door sweeps, material made of aluminum like this, stainless steel, architectural bronze. I'm partial to National Guard, and it's because they're a well-oiled machine. The orders go in, the orders go out. Technical support, superb. Regional sales manager, excellent, committed sort of folks. Great quality for the name. If you're doing a job and you need to get something approved to the architect, National Guard's an immediate go-to because of their depth at being accepted in the world of commercial doors and frames. If you have any questions on the National Guard 8475 saddle type threshold or any other National Guard product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.